Ladies are crazy. She says, I'm not going to expose her name. She says, ladies, if he don't chase behind you like the camera man on Maury, then he not the one. This is what they want, man. That's what I was telling you. They want worship. These women want to be worshipped. And then what do they do? Oops, just showed her name. Then what do they do? What do they do when you worship them? Then you're no longer the high value man. Then they dump you, right? So now the game is teaching guys how to keep the masculine frame, keep that leverage between you and her, right? But she's still trying to wear you down. She's just getting what she can get while she can get it. You're the man who she's with right now. She may claim that she loves you just like she claims she loved the 10 dudes before you. But this is what she really wants. If he don't chase behind you like the cameraman on Maury, then he not the one. This is what they want. They want to lead men. This is feminism. This is the evil cult of feminism at work. They want to lead men. They want to be the leader. Now here's my buddy right here with another banger today. I've been thinking about having the attitude that someone has to win your heart. It's pompous and ridiculous. Why? Is it because in Christianity we are set to give by his love and we are under command to love our brothers and neighbors as we love ourselves? The very love is agape, that is spiritual and benevolent. Agape means God's love. It is not inwardly focused, having an expectation to receive. In Satanism, the tenet, love is the law, love at will, proves that it encourages one to be like God by suggesting that we get to choose whom we love. I like what he says here. It is not inwardly focused, having an expectation to receive. That's interesting. That's an interesting statement right there. Let me read that again. The very love is agape, that is spiritual and benevolent, which is God's love. And how does God love us? He loves us magnanimously, right? He loves us unconditionally. He loves out of his own love, which is the purest love, apparently, according to the Bible. It's not a selfish love. And God is not a respecter of persons, right? It is not inwardly focused, having an expectation to receive. I love that, because so much of today, so many reasons why people do things today, like with the whole LeBron James scenario, and just anybody in general. So much of the purpose and the reason why people do things is for self-gain. Oh, I'm going to love this person because it benefits me. I'm going to pretend like I care about this thing because it will benefit me. I'm going to be an advocate and speak out against this thing because it will benefit me, because it benefits my agenda. And if it doesn't benefit my agenda, then I'm not going to talk about it. You'll see this with liberals. You'll see this with partisanism, bipartisanism, both sides, really. But for me, in particularly the last 10 years, the liberals have been the biggest hypocrites. Not saying that Republicans aren't ever hypocrites either. But anyway, you'll see that. You'll see people being political, jumping onto political bandwagons, getting into political, discussions and echo chambers, siding because it benefits them, not because they're being magnanimous with what they care about, but because it benefits their personal goals. And love is not exempt from that. How many times have you heard a girl say, oh, I love him, he's my everything, woo, 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 and then a year later, she's not with the same guy. 6 months later, she's with a new guy. How many times have you guys been told by an ex-girlfriend that she loves you, and then all of a sudden she dumps you? And now she loves the new guy. This is this selfish type of love. And this is what he's talking about. These women want to be worshipped. They have this attitude like, woo, 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 you got to love me and you got to win me, because that's a selfish type of love. Oh, you got to make a certain amount of money. Why? Because it benefits her. Oh, you got to wine and dine her. Why? Because it benefits her. You got to take me on dates. You got to do this. You got to do that. Why? Because it benefits her. You got to pay for my kids. You got to have enough money to have kids with me. Why? Because it benefits her. This is a selfish type of love. Let me go on. It is not inwardly focused, having an expectation to receive. In Satanism, the tenet, love is the law, love at will, proves that it encourages one to be like God by suggesting that we get to choose whom we love. And this is what Satanism is all about. Do what thou wilt is the end of the law, right? Or whatever it says in Aleister Crowley's Satanism, right? Do whatever you want as long as you quote unquote don't harm anybody. But really it's just do whatever you want. This is why people like being atheists. This is why people they gravitate towards that Satanism. They gravitate towards that dark self-law because they don't want to work for anybody else. They don't want to serve God. They don't want to be righteous. They want to be able to do whatever they want without any checks and balances. They want to serve themselves. And love, the very definition of love is really, if you really understand it, really look it up, it is not selfishness. It's the opposite of that. So when you're selfish, you're actually not really loving. So if you have a love that is a selfish type of love, that's really kind of a satanic love, right? In the kingdom, we love others mainly because they were made in the image of God. To the degree we love others, we love Him. So to have the attitude that one must win another's heart before they will love them is absolutely satanic. Yeah, I agree with that a lot insofar as these women are always saying, oh, you got to do this for me, you got to do that for me, impress me, do this, win my heart, and this whole played out Disney concept of the woman being the prize, okay? She's not the prize. The woman being the prize and the man having to win her heart. And it sounds and seems noble. And when you're young, you get caught up in that blue pill narrative. Oh, I got to find a woman to win her. And then what has she done with it? Look at this. Look at this advertisement. Look how happy this woman is. Oh, I'm so happy and I'm free and I'm carefree. How many cocks do you think she sucked this year, this woman here in this advertisement? 50? That's what happens when you put women on a pedestal. That's what happens with gynocentrism. That's what happens when you got to impress her and win her with your love. Is they're carefree and they don't give a shit about anything because they think they rule. I do not have to bow down to anyone and jump through hoops, or to be a lapdog, a puppy dog, an underdog, or a horse, or a pack of cards to be played just to love someone. This is what these women are trying to do. They're trying to make you jump through hoops, trying to make you buy them dinner, do this, do that, and then they eventually just use you and discard you because if you're trying to win her love, then you're weak to her. And her hypergamy kicks in and she wants that bad boy who doesn't give a fuck about her. And then when she gets knocked up and pregnant by that bad boy, then she wants the guy who's going to follow behind her, the lapdog, blah, 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 the horse for her to use financially. And I've seen this again and again and again and again. It's absolutely satanic madness how far people will go in their selfish expectations of others. They put self first and elevate self to be God. And this is what women are doing. Women want worship. They get validation constantly from a gynocentric society with weak simp beta men who give them compliments on her outward beauty, has nothing to do with her inward character, has nothing to do with her behavior, has nothing to do with her morality, has nothing to do with how much she loves other people or how well she treats others. It's all about her beauty. All about her sexuality, all about her physical attractiveness. And as long as she's physically attractive, as long as she's sexy, she has currency in society. She has currency with men. And what does she do with that currency? Because of all the attention she gets, because of all the constant validation she gets, what does she do? She props herself up like she's a queen. She props herself up as if she is a ruler of men, as if she is the prize, and all men must vie for her attention. All men must vie for her love. When what is she bringing to the table? Her love isn't even quality. How could it be? How could she even pair bond at this point? By the time she's 25, she's been with 50 guys at least. By the time she's 30, might be double that. All the scenarios she's been in, STDs she's caught. Probably done porn. like so many other hundreds of thousands of girls in our society and in our world who have done it since its inception. What does she bring to the table? And men are experiencing this from the time we start to hit puberty. When we start to seek out a woman, we start to say, hey, what's this? I want a girlfriend. I want this. I want to have companionship. I want a relationship. We get thrown into this bullshit. We get thrown into this gauntlet and this trickery that they put on us. And they learn how to do it by the time they're 16, 17. They're well versed in it because they hit puberty quick and they've got at least 3 or 4 years head start, because by the time guys hit 16, 17 and we're like, oh shoot, we're trying to figure out how to talk to women. By the time we figure that out, they've already been ran through by guys who are 25, 30 years old. But when these girls are 16, 17, age of consent in about 16 states, I believe, in the United States is age 16. What does that mean? That means a guy who is 35, 40 years old can legally sleep with a girl who is 16 years old. That's 100% fact. That's a law. That's the truth. That's the world that we are living in. What does that mean? That means guys who are 25, 30 have more game than you when you're 16, 17 and you're still shy and thinking about asking Susie to the school dance. She's already out sucking some guy's dick when she's 17. I've seen it again and again and again. When I was in high school, I knew girls that were messing around with older guys. And that's just the ones I knew about. It's all swept under the rug. These girls are ninjas at sleeping around and people not finding out. Believe me, I've been in scenarios where I've been over at some girl's house and pieced it together and I was like, oh shit, I'm in some guy's house right now. And this is his wife. And she didn't tell me she was married. And I pieced it together, usually after the fact. Usually I was like, wait a minute. This girl worked at a cinema. This girl worked at a theater, film theater. And she's got a townhouse, a 2-bedroom townhouse that looked like she had kids. That don't make sense. That's someone's wife and she didn't tell me. That's happened to me a few times. These girls are slick. All right? So by the time she hits 17, 18, she's been around the block at least a few times. By the time she hits 25, she owns the block. By the time she hits 30, she's a veteran. All right? So don't fool yourself. And what's she doing the whole time that she's got that going on? She's got some guy on the side, some main guy that she's seeing who doesn't know, who thinks he thinks that she's pure and loves him for who he really is, and he's blue-pilled and he's beta, and if he found out, he'd probably not do anything. He'd look the other way, and she thinks she runs the show.